Hello, my name's Saffron and I'm here to see Sian Berry, the London mayoral candidate for the Green Party, and see her vision for young Londoners. So the first one is, how will your manifesto put young people at the centre of what we do in London?
That's a really good question. I mean, what I want to do is bring more young people literally into City Hall to help make more decisions. I think at the moment people are a bit shut out of City Hall. It's quite a remote place. I mean, that's shown in the turnout for the election. The people don't think it's important, but actually what the London Assembly does and what the Mayor does is really important. So I actually want to create a youth assembly, essentially, one that acts like a London Assembly committee, can investigate issues of importance to young people across London, and put policy proposals to the Mayor, and also keep an eye on what the Mayor's doing and scrutinise what the policies they're doing and how well they're working. So I think it's just really important that we actually involve people in the decisions that affect them. That's one of our principles in the Greens.
That sounds like really exciting. And how do you think we can encourage organisations to work together to support young Londoners like me?
Well, I mean, there's a lot the Mayor can do with sort of leadership, but also we have some funding now coming in for sort of further education for skills. So not so much schools, which are not under the Mayor's control, but further education, things to help people find jobs, apprenticeships. We have quite a leading role to play within City Hall on that. So I think making sure that young people are involved in planning that we work with businesses to make sure that people are training for jobs that there are, make sure that we encourage more girls and into coding and some of the digital skills that we need for the future, and trying to make sure everything matches up. So I think it's really important that we do create a future for the young people that's bright, give them some guidance, but also respond to what they want to.
And how do you propose we give young people positive opportunities instead of seeing them as a problem?
Yeah, I mean, there's too much. I speak to young people, and on the one hand, they don't feel safe on the streets. They don't feel like the police are looking after them. And then on the other hand, they get stopped and searched by the police when they're just going about their daily business and doing nothing wrong. So we've got to kind of make that relationship work a bit better so that young people don't feel like they're a burden on the city. I think there are genuine problems because we have so much overcrowding. Certainly where I'm a councillor in Camden, there are many families living in far too few rooms. So young people are sharing bedrooms with 2 or 3 of their brothers and sisters. That gives them nowhere really private to hang out with their friends, apart from outside the house. And then they go outside the house and they're told, don't hang around on the street corners, no ball games, we'll disperse you. We absolutely have to deal with this. Make sure that we've got constructive things for young people to do and that we value them.
And young people across various local authorities in London, including Camden, as well as Sutton, have been campaigning to take youth services from further cuts. What would you do to safeguard youth services across London?
Yeah, this is a real problem. In Camden, I mean, we've got a council that's quite committed to youth services, but we've got enormous cuts from national government. It's really hard. You can't put up the council tax very much. So there is a plan to take an awful lot of money out of youth services. Now, I think it's a false economy. I'm pretty sure that the Camden councillors agree with this, but we need to find more money. As Mayor, I would try and do that. One of the things the Greens put forwards in the recent budget for the Mayor was to increase the council tax a little bit, the bit that goes towards the police, but use that money in the same way as it's used. Some of the police's money is used for rape crisis centres. Use some of that money to actually fund some youth services. Because we need to make up the difference in the funding. So I've pledged to do that. I also signed a petition on change.org that some young people put forward that Rio Ferdinand was supported, which basically asks for exactly the same thing. So this is something, if I was Mayor, I would do. And if I was an Assembly member, which I'm also standing for, I will put forwards in every budget until it happens.
Sounds good. And what is your stance on the Vote to 16 campaign? Do you think young people should be able to vote at this age?
Absolutely, they should, yes. I go to a lot of schools and do talks, and at 14, I think people are ready to vote, to be honest. They're really well informed, so much more, because of the internet and things, they're much more well informed than I was at their age. I'm amazed at the sort of knowledge of the world there is out there. People are ready to make decisions about things that affect them. At 16, at 14, I think there should be quite a low age limit on voting.
And what's your vision for a respectful young London?
Yeah, so we do have a problem with rising harassment, sexual harassment particularly, but also just bullying and things within schools, within young people, harassment of people with disabilities, homophobic harassment, all of that is growing in London, and that's a real problem. The mayor has a duty to try and lead from the front, and I think we've got a chance here because Transport for London has an enormous proportion of the advertising that Londoners see within buses and tube stations and tube trains, using some of that space to make adverts, bring young people in, bring in women's groups, bring in groups who represent all the different groups who are being bullied and harassed, to try and change the social environment, try and change people's attitudes, show people that there is a different way, empower people to stand up against bullying and things. And it's not expensive to do. With a lot more adverts going digital, we can just slot in some of those spaces, take a bit of the time for these adverts, and poster campaigns and things to try and change people's minds.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, so I just had a really good interview with Sian Berry, and I love some of her ideas. In particular, the idea of setting up a youth assembly to give young people the opportunity to raise some of their views about particular issues in a space with the mayor. And also I like that not only is she talk, but she's also action. So she's also been joining a lot of campaigns with young people, and she signed a petition as well. So yeah, it was a very good interview.